Welcome back to the show, everybody. Let's get this thing rolling. Binance finds its footing with regulators. We got Glenn Hutchins on CNBC telling us what to watch out for crypto in 2022 and beyond. Crypto media absent on ETHgate. Why? We may have an answer there. SEC reckless oversight and update on the SEC versus Ripple. January could be fireworks for us, ladies and gentlemen. Shark Tank's Kevin OLeary says he won't buy Ripple, and I think we know the answer. Swift's 2022 goals may just be lining up with David Schwartz of Ripple's best dream scenario. And how about crypto boom equals XRP explosion? Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at @BackupBradleyAbove and everything that we're talking about here today. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook at Digital Perspectives News, no spaces, exclusive content there. I'm telling you, very exciting stuff happening on that Facebook page. $2.397 trillion market cap, ladies and gentlemen. We are up a little more than 2% collectively. Bitcoin right now is back over $50,700 plus. Ethereum back over $4,000. We see Solana at $200, damn near on the nose. Cardano is at $1.57, making 10% move in the last 24 hours. XRP is at 92 cents. We're up 8.5%. or 8.05% on the 7-day. We will take a look at it. Now, here, let's take a look at this right here. The range of price is 0.9144 on the bottom and 0.9295 on the top. Pretty tight trading range right now for XRP. The numbers are brought to you by Link2, ladies and gentlemen. Private investing made simple. Link2.com. The reason they are giving you $1,000 worth of XRP if you use your Uphold wallet to buy private equity is because they too, like all of us, believe that XRP is a currency, and this is the best way for them to take action to show that they feel that way in support of XRP being a security because of the cases going on. We do have updates for you right now, but I tell you, if you buy Ripple private equity, you will get $1,500 worth of XRP put back in your Uphold wallet. You do have to be accredited, but it's very easy to see if you are or not. Make sure you register with them today. 371 days plus into the American crypto innovation under siege. ProCoin News, ladies and gentlemen. I tell you, I love them. You know they're a sponsor. They are the best cryptocurrency curator out here in the space, bar none, unbiased. Make sure you give them a follow. Look at this right here. Binance is finally appearing to get their footing with regulators around the world and banks. Binance Holdings says they have gained in principle authorization from Bahrain's central bank to operate as a crypto asset service provider in the country. According to a statement from the firm, it does say here, I'm not going to read it to you all over again, but I'll give you just this little shot. Central Bank of Bahrain has demonstrated the leadership and forethought in addressing crypto as a future asset class. CZ says he's grateful for the support from the Central Bank of Bahrain and the broader Bahraini ecosystem. During this process, the approval recognizes Binance's commitment to comply fully with the regulatory requirements and our broader commitment to anchor operations and activities in Bahrain. But it doesn't stop there, because Binance has been busy here. They got headway happening in Canada as well. Crypto exchange giant Binance has registered its domestic entity in Canada for dealing in virtual currencies. I don't need to read it to you because that's exactly what it says. So they are making a headway, and I'm pretty excited about it. And I think we are too on another front. And it's exposing the absolute double standard that has been created by the SEC with Ethereum and the rest of the industry, obviously including XRP. I say good morning to Gary Gensler, Hester Peirce, Allison Heron-Lee, John Deaton, Eleanor Terrett, Becky Quick from CNBC, Jamie Vernon from Joe Rogan. This is Ethereum's Joseph Lubin acknowledging in the first clip you're going to see, he understands the SEC regulations, and it says FCC in the caption, closed caption, but he is saying SEC. And then in the next clip, you're going to hear him teach investors how to evade the regulations that he just acknowledged.
Upside. And when you're talking about utility tokens, you're talking about the way that we can actually collaborate. So I think that that's like...
That makes perfect sense. So the SEC has this dilemma. Other regulators around the world have a dilemma. The problem is that there are a lot of great projects. There are a lot of bad projects, a lot of fraudulent projects, a lot of projects that are selling what could and should be good, well-constructed consumer utility tokens, but they're selling them to investors in enormous quantities and quantities far greater than they could actually use. So they're really selling them as an investment. And so the SEC's opinion, from what we've discerned, is that those things constitute securities.
A person can buy from any number of different identities. We may limit the size, the unit size of a sale, just to make it easier to disguise. Let's say if you're a whale and you want some privacy, you can buy 50,000 units and just so nobody scares people with an enormous initial purchase. So if you are a whale, if you are planning on investing several million US dollars worth, then you can do that in for multiple identities. We will ask for a real-world identity in the form of email address, just so that we can make sure that everything works smoothly the whole way through the process. But we won't be requiring it. So we can create a pseudonymous email and identity and purchase them.
That is Joseph Lubin explaining how to create a false name account after the first clip of him acknowledging that the regulations for the SEC are that if you make large investments, that would qualify as a security. You know, at what point, I asked a question here, when does the investor protection part of your job kick in? Gary Gensler, Hester Peirce, Allison Lee. When does all of this investor protection actually start? That's what I'm curious about. Now, before we go on further, because we got some news about the SEC case we need to watch out. January could be a hot month here. I've got a clip from Mark Hoven here who sent me, and I'm going to play the audio for you. This is Glenn Hutchins, a huge investor in the actual companies behind a lot of the tech in the blockchain world. He's going to tell you about what's coming, and the key words to look out for here are decentralized autonomous organizations and zero knowledge proof. Listen what he says here.
Third, Becky, I would look to space. For the next year or two, there's space will transition from what you might call a billionaire's playground to a commercialized sector. And I particularly watch the low Earth orbiting satellites, the LEOs, and things like the Elon Musk Starlink project to begin to have private use of space in very valuable, profitable, and commercialized ways. And finally, with crypto, over a year ago, you remember I started talking to you, you referenced it this morning, about the metaverse and the use of NFTs in the metaverse. In the coming year or two, I'm going to predict for you, this is my one prediction, that the new buzzwords will be DAOs, which are decentralized autonomous organizations, and zero knowledge proofs.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. And I tell you, that's why I'm excited about the metaverse, because I know Glenn Hutchins is too. And I tell you, when it comes to the metaverse, do I believe that everybody's going to be walking around with a set of goggles on? Probably not. But I know that there's huge ties to the gaming and the metaverse, the, play to earn, where you could take tokens in a game and stake them, when you could buy with tokens and purchase these in-game items and then sell them or rent them to other people. I find these things to be very exciting for myself. Now, this is not financial advice. I'm just sharing with you aspects of this metaverse that is being pursued as a new sector of investment. That's what I'm excited about. Now, let's get on here, because this is Valerie Hispanic here, who admits that the SEC provides speeches as guidance, and they're referring to the William Hinman speech, which they now recently reported from Fox Business News have pulled away from, saying that the William Hinman speech is now personal opinion. Really meaning, if you're William Hinman, you're standing outside in the cold weather and you don't have a jacket anymore. The SEC saying, you can have him, he means nothing to us, his speech is not our guidance. But that isn't what they were saying back in 2018 and beyond. It's just what they're saying today.
Put in a plain English way how one might go through an analysis to determine if whatever you're doing is offering and selling securities. So we've been working hard on that guidance, and hopefully we can be at a point where we feel comfortable giving that out. I do think out of all our tools, rulemaking is very cumbersome, and it's also not as kind of flexible as some of the other tools that you mentioned. So we do put out things like speeches and statements by the various divisions and offices that can address certain things.
And there it is, and that's her pointing to the William Hinman speech from Corporate and Finance Division inside of the SEC, right? If I was William Hinman, I would be looking for whoever and whatever I could throw under the bus, because that's exactly what the SEC is doing to him. And he is low-hanging fruit, baby. And William, if you're hearing this, I'd be rolling over on whoever I could roll over on, because the SEC has decided you're not worth saving. Look right here, because the truth of all of this really is this. 2018, the SEC ETH founders set in motion an elaborate scheme to monopolize the crypto industry. In 2021, Twitter sleuths put a stop to that shit by digging up old videos and documents exposing their corruption. Shout out to XRP meme guy. That's a goodie. That's the way to close out the year on 2021. And you know what? Going into 2022, let's take a look at what James K. Filan reminds us of right here, because we have some stuff heading for us in this case that has been quiet of late. And we know recently that we had these things on our plate from December 6th, the deadline for the SEC to comply with most aspects of October 21st order regarding 2 discovery disputes. We know that all these other things I'm not going to read to you. What I do want to focus on here for this particular moment is right here. Deadline for expert discovery, January 14, 2022. We do not know if the following has been completed from previous discovery decisions. Ripple was ordered to produce relevant Slack messages involving 22 custodians. Ripple stated that it could take as long as 12 weeks to complete, so we don't know whether that has been completed or still ongoing. Also, while Ripple's motion to compel turnover of pre-clearing trading decisions was denied, the SEC was directed to provide the defendants any documentation supporting SEC's counsel's statement during the August 25th, 2021 meet and confer that after the formal order of investigation of Ripple was issued on March 9, 2019, SEC employees could no longer trade XRP. There's no indication whether that has been done, but in the absence of any follow-up motion on this issue, it is reasonable to assume it has been done. Now, moving on to the next thing here, we have this. We are waiting for decisions regarding the following, and this is what we need to pay very close attention to. Ripple's defendants pending motion to compel the SEC produce certain documents it's designated as privileged, including the 3 extra documents the SEC was ordered to submit to Judge Netburn for in-camera review. While the SEC was ordered to submit those documents to Judge Netburn for in-camera review, no decision whether they must be turned over to Ripple has been issued. The SEC's motion for a telephone conference or order compelling Ripple to search for and produce video and audio tape recordings of internal Ripple meetings where Brad Garlinghouse, Chris Larson, and other key Ripple members spoke on topics relevant to disputes in the lawsuit. The SEC's motion to strike Ripple's lack of due process and fair notice affirmative defense. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a big one, because if Ripple wins that ruling, I think we move very quickly into settlement talks if they're not already taking place. And we know that they've absolutely had discussions. We just don't know where they are in those talks. The individual defendant's motion to dismiss the SEC's First Amendment complaint. No argument dates have been set regarding the motions to dismiss or the motions to strike. No further telephone conferences have been scheduled to discuss any outstanding discovery disputes as of this time. The deadline for the parties to exchange their respective statements of the material facts pursuant to the local civil rule 56.1 and their pre-motion letters regarding the motions of summary judgment as adjourned says no specific date set, pending resolution for the motions to dismiss and strike. So while it may be quiet in terms of motions being filed on the public docket, the parties have a lot of things to work on behind the scenes. Ladies and gentlemen, we're closing out the new year in just 4 days here. This is going to move, I believe, very quickly from January and beyond. Things are coming to an inevitable head. The judge has put off a lot of these motions to rule on. And as we know from the Hogan legal team, I tell you, they have told us this thing could go as far as May at the latest. But as far as January goes, there's going to be a moment where the rubber meets the road. The judge will have to be able or have to come out and make decisions in a lot of these matters in order for the case to move forward. Big, big things to pay attention to. Now, take a look at this right here. Kevin OLeary Shark Tank, or Shark Tank's Kevin OLeary, says he won't buy Ripple. Well, I got a couple reasons why he might not, right? Now, he says here that, his 10% of his portfolio is in cryptocurrencies, and one coin he won't buy is Ripple XRP, and the reason, the veteran investor says he doesn't want to get on the wrong side of regulators. Ripple is in the middle of a long court battle with the SEC, as we all know, right? He says, I have zero interest in investing in litigation against the SEC. That is a very bad idea. You know what this sounds like to me? It's one of two things here. One, Kevin OLeary is already extremely wealthy. So Kevin OLeary really doesn't feel like he needs to take a risk. Or two, which I tend to lean into, is Kevin OLeary is talking his book, and he's probably accumulating XRP at a breakneck pace. I don't know which one it is, but it's one of the two. And if he is accumulating while he's talking it down, that's what they call talking your book. Hey, if you could affect price of XRP and have it go down by talking bad about it in the media so you could continue to accumulate, would you do it? It's not against the law. And if I had the ability to, I know I would, but I don't. So that's off the table for me. But this may not be off the table. Swift aims to test tokenization in 2022. Clearstream, Northern Trust, settled to participate. We covered this. The Belgian-based cooperative that serves as an intermediary and settlement executor of financial transactions between banks worldwide, over 11,000 institutions, is planning to experiment with asset tokenization in 2022. In a blog post about the subject, Swift notes that it will be working with firms like Clearstream, Northern Trust, Settle to explore the feasibility and benefits of using Swift as an interconnector to tokenization platforms. We already know that Swift is connected to R3. R3 has the Corda platform for which customers can onboard onto that platform, giving them access to the Corda settler for settling of payments in a digitized manner, which also provides access to XRP, the digital bridge asset, to do just that. Now, with that understanding, I think the real practice of what Swift is walking towards lines up very much with Joel Katz's dream scenario from back in 2017, is that Swift makes a deal with Ripple where all their banks get to use RippleNet for free, maybe even paying Swift. Fits our XRP strategy perfectly. Goes on to say it's possible Swift doesn't really have any good ability to raise money or seriously innovate, so they are vulnerable, and they are. And you could see a scenario where, like, hey, you could use RippleNet for free and maybe even paying Swift. How would you do that? Based off of the transactions. You give them a little kickback. Give us access to your customers. We'll give you access to the platform for free. And in fact, we can even profit share with you off of the transactions that we do. Everybody wins. Ultimately, I believe that's the case. I believe we all are going to win. Whether it's XRP or something else you're invested in that has real use case, that has a real future in this space. And none of what I say is financial advice. But Dark Defender here shows us the market cap, excluding Bitcoin, is targeting $15 trillion in this channel that he's showing us here. Look at this, the total market cap for crypto, excluding Bitcoin. Now, the one thing I wanted to make a point about all of this is let's understand what Brad Garlinghouse has told us too. 90+% or 95, 99, whatever the number is, it's above 90% of all cryptos will go away at some point, leaving a very small number left. Let's say less than 100, right? Maybe even 50. Imagine that $15 trillion disseminated and spread out in those actual crypto projects, which are really successful payment protocols that will be very, very, very well off. How about that, right? Looking right here, market participants are speculating that when the SEC case which is predicted to go in Ripple's favor, ends in 2022, the price of XRP will see an explosive surge that will propel it to new highs. I believe this to be true too. It's my speculation, but I believe it. And so does Crypto Bull. He thinks that Q1 of 2022, XRP will bring $15 price target, maybe even more. How about that? And if we see the case end with a clarity for XRP to move forward, and all of the financial institutions to begin to come off of the bench, off of the sideline, and begin using it in a real way for its full-scale intended use, I think we can see that and well beyond. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for me. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. Make sure you check out all the links in the description and comment section. There are products and services that I use each and every day. More importantly, there's a new virus running around here on computers and websites, and I think it's called Log4j. And be very careful what you click on. That's why I tell you they are trusted, vetted links. If you need a product or a service, make sure you check them out. I'll catch all of you on the next one.